My husband taught me to fish. My grandparents, my grandfather was a cowboy. He was a cotton farmer back in Northeast Texas, and so he really wasn't a fisherman. There was just a little cow pond, But I did see once when I was a kid, we went out to feed the cows, and somebody had put some oil on the top of that little cow pond, and some catfish that he and my great uncle had been trying to catch for years was floating belly up on that thing. No. That's when a cowboy nearly cries. That's when I knew how important fishing is. I was like, hey, this isn't good. And so I didn't really ever learn to fish, but when I married my husband, he grew up around a little lake in Northeast Texas, and so we inherited a little cabin there, and he said, you need to learn to bass fish. And I was like, I can't fish. I don't know how to fish. So I gave me a little Zebco 33.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, all right, I got to see if I'll do this. When I caught my first largemouth bass and fought that sucker for about 15 minutes, I was like, whoa. I was like, this is the life. And so now I've got 3 or 4 rods, and I got my own tackle box.
That's
and I got
how
a
you
bunch
get
of
your
stuff
cardio, isn't it?
It is. I've got all this stuff. I'm like, I see all you men. I see what you do. You have all these, different baits and this and that. And he has all the stuff. His tackle box is giant. Mine's just a little, flip plastic top one. But if you give me a beetle spin in half an afternoon, you're going to get yourself a little largemouth bass. I'm just saying.
That's great. Yeah. So, we always talk about recruit, retain, reactivate. So you were recruited at a later age, which is great. I mean, that's, not everybody starts out young, fishing when they're a kid or whatever. No. But it's great that you got into it and I think it's just awesome. The guys down there, their kids are growing up on that lake, and so they can fish from the time they're like 3 or 4. It's nothing to them. They can fish and fish and fish. But I learned later. But I'll tell you one thing: the appreciation of it, and just the day out on that it's a little 24-acre lake, it's a little private kind of a club lake thing, So there's not a lot of people around, and you can just sit there in the afternoon. You can think about it. You can fish. You can pray when the fish aren't biting, and that whole saying about there's no bad day fishing, even if you don't catch one. Yeah. That's the truth.
Exactly.
Because our neighbor has a little cabin down there. He has this great old dog, and I'll sit there, and that dog comes sit down by me. We'll just sit there and watch the water together.